What up, everybody, and welcome back to Future Proofing You Book Club. And this is on chapter 10. Oh my goodness, we're almost close. We're almost close to the end. Chapter 10. How many more chapters do we have? How many more chapters? Let's see. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 5 more chapters. Anyways, this chapter's title is The $1 Trillion Opportunity. So the quote of this chapter is, "The trend has been mobile was winning. It's now won." And that's from Eric Schmidt, former executive chairman of Google. And then, so this little story, it's not really a story. It just goes into facts and statistics. It talks about like how big companies like IKEA, Nike started to introduce things to make it easier for the customers. For example, Nike on their app created the opportunity for a customer to measure their foot, and to see what shoe would fit perfect for their foot and would be comfortable for the foot. IKEA was the one that noticed that 14% of the returns were because people were buying either too big or too small furniture. So guess what? They decided to build in their app the ability to measure your room and see whether what you're trying to purchase will fit perfectly. That way you don't have to go to the store, buy the item, build it, and then end up saying, you know what, it didn't work out. Disney is included in the story, and it talks about how they created their app to talk about wait times in line, and to just order your food without having to wait in line. It's ready for it and you pick it up. So this subtitle is Mobile is Going Spatial. If I was building a company today, the biggest opportunity I see for maximizing wealth is spatial reality. All of the truths we have so far explored can now coalesce around grabbing a piece of this $1 trillion opportunity. The easiest way I know of future-proofing you is to grab some of the $1 billion opportunities this technology revolution is unleashing. 1,000 old problems will be solved, and a myriad of new voids will be created. So for those of you wondering what spatial reality is, spatial augmented reality is basically the examples we gave earlier, where the ability to take out your phone and see an actual object projected on what it could look like in your room, in your living room, in your kitchen, the IKEA example, right? So truth number 10. Spatial reality is a $1 trillion opportunity. The physical and the virtual will seamlessly meld before our very eyes, creating an augmented life called spatial reality. As I have said since the first pages of this book, insight and perseverance are the only 2 things you need to achieve success. If you are serious about future-proofing you, put everything you've learned thus far into action by following my MOVE method, MOVE. MOVE stands for mindset, obstacles, void, and execution. So if you are brainstorming your plans for building a business to take advantage of the $1 billion flowing into spatial reality, follow these 4 steps to guide you to success. Number 1, mindset. Your mindset is everything. Keep a positive growth mindset and start dreaming about how your life can be better living in an augmented world. Number 2, obstacles. Obstacles are opportunities. Revisit your 3 problems a day, 30-day challenge chart again. How will spatial reality solve your problems? What previous impossible task is now solved in the blink of an eye? And remember this about applying a spatial reality overlay on top of everything we do. Number 3, voids. Voids will be created. Now remember, voids are opportunities that others have not been able to either see or create. Again, going back to our last chapter, the idea of those people a group of millennials who created a case for the iPhone, right? Just remember that example from the last video, the last chapter. Number 4, execution. Execution is the difference between a good idea and creating generations of wealth. Find the right mentors, partners, and employees to bring your vision to life. The next 2 chapters will show you how to raise the capital and build a virtual workforce. As an industry, spatial computing is expected to expand from 11 billion in 2018 to over 60 billion by 2023, a compound annual growth rate of over 40%. What piece of that is going to be yours? The opportunities for new businesses, services, and products created by this revolution in computing will be an order of magnitude greater than the impact of the internet or mobile. How am I so sure of what is coming? 2 reasons. First, the best way to predict the future is to hang out with those coding it. I have consulted on this field with dozens of industry leading companies, including Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. I have also been retrained by major corporations to help them prepare for and benefit from these changes. Nike's shoe fitting app and IKEA's furniture placement app are examples of AR going mainstream today before glasses go mainstream. Spatial reality is the one thing I am certain in this uncertain world. Second, I always follow the money. With the table stakes so high, who do you think will be willing to pay a massive premium to purchase your spatial computing startup company and prevent their competitors from buying it? Spatial reality is posed to be the greatest transfer of wealth in history and the opportunity of a lifetime. And then I really highlighted this if you are wondering what spatial reality is. So I am committed to this 4th revolution in computing that, in addition to my column in his magazines, he mentioned 2 books. Book number 1 is from Charlie Fink's Convergence, How the World Will Be Painted with Data. And the second is from Gabriel Rene and Dan Mapes, The Spatial Web, How Web 3.0 Will Connect Human, Machines, and AI to Transfer the World. So those 2 books, if you're interested in getting a piece of this $1 trillion opportunity, those are it. It's time for you to move into the future and to start generating real wealth. So that's basically the main focus key points of this chapter. It's really goes into like a lot of statistics about spatial reality and how that is the future. And I am truly invested in this chapter about spatial reality because, again, mobile wasn't a thing and it became a thing. AR wasn't a thing and it has become a thing. Just these things technology is just the future. Obviously, technology is the future. What I'm recording right now, right? Cameras weren't even on phones, and they are now. So spatial reality is literally everyone's opportunity to become a trillionaire. Not even a billionaire, not even a millionaire. Imagine if Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and so other big companies are willing just to buy your startup. If you figure out spatial reality, they're pouring billions of money into this just to beat their competitors and be number 1. Now, if you're that person who just cuts through all their difficulties and just hands them over the finished product and their solution that they've been looking for, I guarantee you have all these companies investing billions of dollars willing to give you an offer. Now, if you're looking for a way to make money, then you have just found your way to make money. And maybe part of it's because I have gave you that answer. I didn't give you the answer. The author of this book gave you the answer. But think about it. If you were like me, sitting down, I mean, I'm still like this, but I don't have regrets anymore. But if you're like this, just like, man, when can I just figure out how to make money? Well, here's your answer. Now, how is that going to happen? It's totally up to you. It's all up to you. The work you're going to put in, the no sleep days, the no eating days, the no anything, whatever it is, right? When you're focused on one thing, nothing truly matters. And if this spatial reality is one thing that nothing's surely going to matter till you figure it out, then let it be a thing, but be ready for the journey. Be ready for the obstacles you're going to come across, the bandwagon people who are going to try to jump on your idea. Just be careful for this, but go after it. Don't let anything stop you from achieving that goal. I mean, that is your answer. That's the next big thing. Man, imagine if you're part of this big thing. This book even gives you a question and says, if you could go back in 2007 when Apple first launched the iPhone, or WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikToks were created to be billion-dollar fortunes. If you were back in this time, which app would you create? So now that question goes into what are you going to create to be part of the spatial reality? Right? So instead of having that question in your mind, like, man, when am I going to make it happen? The answer is, how am I going to make it happen? Right? The question is, how am I going to make it happen? The question is, where do I start? The question is, what do I begin? The question is, where do I step first? Right? And that first step, I already gave it to you. 2 books. 2 books in this video. So that's your first step into getting into this industry. Now, I'm going to buy these books. And maybe I'll even do a book club on these books. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do the spatial web, how Web 3.0 will connect human, machines, and AI to transform the world. Maybe we read it together. But I wanted to go back into that 30-day challenge of problems, right? Where you just write all the problems. Now, this video, chapter 10, now is the time to start to pick that one and go after it as well, and see how that problem could fit into the spatial reality, or just how can you make it happen. So now you have to start that journey. It's the number one problem that you come across, and how do you go after it? I have come up with 2 ideas that I will not share over the camera or in this video, because this is how I will get my success, right? 2 ideas that I come up with, so now I got to narrow it down to just one that I could focus my attention to and make that become something. But now it's your turn, right? So go back to that challenge, pick that only one, figure out how it could fit into the spatial reality, and figure out how that could be the next big thing. The next chapter is going to be 11. It's titled "Working Hard Doesn't Make You Rich," which is going to be very interesting. I'm going to read this as fast as I can, and I will share to you the juicy parts. But that is it for this video. If you like it, if you love it, then like it, subscribe, tell your peers, tell your friends about it. I mean, this book, this journey started because I saw this TikTok about this guy who talked about this 12-month experiment, 1 year, and how he made someone into a millionaire. But he's been giving us so much amazing ideas and so much he created an opportunity for us to go after something we've all been looking for. And the greatest time to start is now, right? You can't start yesterday's gone. You can't start a year ago, because a year ago is gone. You could probably start tomorrow, but the best time is to start now. To just give a little update about Vin, because the experiment is he has 4 months left. He needs to make 61,194 in order to hit that 1 million. He does say, when you can't fail, you don't fail. And that's it. But again, thank you for watching this video, and watch for chapter 11. Bye.